Harriet, I'm going to hand over to you. What's been going on? What's going on in the news?
Well, I mean, I don't think has it ever really been good? I've got to get better at this. I've got to get better at bringing you the good news. We're not starting good, but we do end with something interesting. So it's an arc. So stay with us for the arc. So in the news, the last couple of months, you can imagine there have been two key themes. We're going to cover them in greater detail today. So the first one is how working from home, COVID-19, isolation, lockdown has affected women's careers. This piece actually on the We Are the City website, so do go check it out. Women working through the night to manage work and family. So what this is a piece of research which looked at the working patterns that women are undertaking in order to meet their professional lives and look after kids at home. We know that one of the biggest problems with working from home for women in the last few months has been that they're not just working from home by themselves quietly in a nice office, maybe with some flowers on the desk and access to the fridge. No, they're working from home with their kids right there requiring attention, as they do. That's what children require. So what seems to be happening is that actually women are spending the day looking after children, and then, oh, sorry, that beautiful noise there is my Ocado delivery arriving, so I'll just let that happen. That's what it's like working from home. Balance. So women working through the day and then doing childcare through the day and then doing their actual work at night. The other key theme from obviously the last few months has been the Black Lives Matter movement. You know that I've shared some of this stuff before, but there's lots around here at the moment. My dog is very excited about the Ocado delivery. So first up, you can't just choose to walk away. Black women detail their experiences in the workplace. It's a brilliant piece. It's on Forbes. I really recommend reading it. It has, I think, really honest and open sharing from Black women about their experiences in the workplace. So the things that happen every single day that as white women I definitely don't see, and so aren't aware of and don't know how to change. And my fundamental thing is I believe most people are good, and when we become aware of stuff, we try and do the best we can to make a fairer world for everyone. So it's a really great article if you want to become aware of that stuff that perhaps is happening and you're missing out on. A little bit about the gender pay gap. So you probably have seen the last few years, there's been lots of headlines around how the gender pay gap has finished for women, and that women are actually now out earning their male peers in the workplace. My Ocado delivery is such a great timing. Actually, what's happening, we found, is that the gender pay gap still exists post-university. It starts straight away after university. But what it happens is it's not men and women doing the same job, it's that women are being filtered or are filtering themselves into less well-paying careers. So there's an interesting question there for me, both around how do we get women into the better paying careers, but also I think really interesting about why men are not going for some of those careers that maybe don't pay as well. So the design, the creative, the caring professions. Actually, what can we do to get more men in there and then create more space for the women in the higher paying ones as well? It's time for white female executives to break inequality barriers for Black women. This is on CNBC. Some just really practical advice about how if you are a white woman in the workplace, your job does not stop, unfortunately, with your job description. It's actually also about who you bring with you. And for years I've been saying to men, really look at your networks, look at who you promote, who you work with, who promoted you, and just have a little bit of awareness about what the makeup of that network looks like. Now it's actually time for us to all do that as well. So if you're a white woman, have a look at who it is you're bringing with you. Who do you promote? Who do you suggest for panels? Who do you suggest for work? Think about how you can help the Black female executives around you get the same support that you have had as well. And this is echoed in the next article, which is, I think, Harvard Business Review, which is how to be a better ally to your Black colleagues. Really interesting, lots of talk about the concept of allyship in the last few months. One of the biggest signs that you are an ally rather than somebody who just agrees with it is if you are still talking about it now. You are still taking action now when maybe the conversation has cooled down slightly. And because being an ally, as far as I'm concerned, is an active thing, we have to do it. And also I think there's something around understanding that as a white person, I'm part of the problem. So actually I have to be active in solving it. Downturns tend to reduce gender inequality, not under COVID-19. Unfortunately, this is a really interesting piece of research from The Economist, looking at the impact that COVID-19 has had on women, specifically around the fact that women actually have been the majority of the caring professions looking after us during this period. They've also been the worst paid for it, that women are more likely to be made redundant or to lose their jobs in any forthcoming economic downturn, and that women have had to deal with high levels of childcare, and that is impacting their job progression. Reporting of UK companies' gender pay gap tumbles under lockdown. This is the thing that made me saddest when I read this. I was like, I couldn't believe that after all that effort that we put in to get everyone to report their gender pay gap, it just disappeared this year. And that is largely, I think, the fault of the government for not pushing it and basically saying, oh, it's fine. We were never that fussed about it anyway. It was just the women. They were making a fuss. We gave it to them. Doesn't really matter. So don't worry if you're a bit busy and you can't do it. I think we have to really, really push to make this a priority next year. And also, and there's a campaign going around for this to make it not just about gender pay gap, but also about the ethnicity pay gap. 3 ways to advance gender equality as we return to the office. Very, very simple, nice article here if you want some kind of practical stuff you can do. The third way that I really liked is talk about your experiences and about your family. So because of Zoom, we've all had a little insight into everybody's daily lives. Actually, what this article suggests is that's really increased kind of bonding and engagement amongst employees. And so thinking about how we can bring that back. So how do we talk about our family lives? How do we talk about what's going on for us at home? And then finally, will Facebook's salary by location move set a precedent for tech? This, I think, is super interesting. So Facebook has basically said, we realise that going forward, lots more of our staff are going to be working from home, and this is going to give them flexibility over where they live. So if you are somebody who is living in a more expensive area, we might then basically prorata your salary so that the more expensive the area you live in, the more you are paid. So somebody living in a very expensive area of San Francisco, for example, would be on a higher salary than somebody who decides to move to, I don't know the states well enough to go with someone that's really cheap, Alabama. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. I don't know. I would love to hear your views on it. But if Facebook do it, you can be sure that other people are going to start doing it too. That is all the news from me. Please do feel free to pop any questions in the chat and I'll try and answer them. Otherwise, it wasn't really happy, was it? It wasn't happy, but I tried. So yeah, that's me. Thank you.
Before you go, where can people find you on Instagram?
Oh, they can find me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, all socials at Harriet Minter.
And they can sign up for your fabulous newsletter as well, can't they?
Yes, that's on all of those as well.